Hello and welcome back. Yes, this video is to do with painting stroke weathering, and it's basically been concentrated on what we call multi-layer paint distressing, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. It is multiples of paints being distressed with chipping fluids and giving you a finish which will give you a very authentic look. And it's a look that I didn't actually know existed until I visited East Kirby to see my mistress, as in the Mosquito. Now, why does it happen? Well, the guy that owns the actual Mosquito, he doesn't know. It's just one of them things. It's either to do with the heat coming off that side of the engine, or it could be the airflow going through the nacelle. He just doesn't know. It could be a multitude of things. But it is unique, and it is something that if you put on your said model, it is going to make a big difference. You know, they do say that little things matter more. Yeah, I can vouch for that. But it really does. It will give you an even more authentic look. Now, here's a picture of this said shroud, and that is what we're going to be trying to replicate, or a form of, for the kit. Now, it is 1/24th, as you know, but there's no reason why you couldn't do this on a smaller scale, 32nd, 48th, or even 72nd. I wouldn't even bother with 1/44 because you just go blind. But yeah, that's the idea, and that's what we're going to be doing on this, the 24 scale Mosquito. So strap yourselves in, and yeah, hopefully you stick with it. It can be a lengthy process, like I've said, but the dividends that you'll get are exceptional. So sit back and we'll take a look. So to begin with, as it was already primed, I used a black, which was XF85, I think it was. This is a rubber black on both sides, and on the other two shrouds, which will be on the cowling, but not affixed to the actual kit itself. They will be off displaying the engine, hopefully. So once that was dry, I went straight for the MIG Ammo heavy chipping fluid and applied it not with an airbrush, but with a hairy stick. Yes, I used a paintbrush. You can use either, it doesn't really matter. But what I wanted was quite a heavy covering or layer of this chipping fluid, because basically it's going to be the black that's going to be shown more than anything else. And it will come apparent later on in the video and the results that I do get from it. So, oh yeah, and this stuff, if you're applying it with a brush or even with an airbrush, really depending on how much you put on, it normally dries between 10 to 20 minutes. And once that's done, you can basically just crack on with your next stage. Now, what I did for this, I used a rust colour, which was MIG Ammo's Shadow Rust, which was AMIG 0043. Now, I went all this around the actual sides, and yeah, the sides and the tops and all the rest of it, but you won't actually see a lot of it at the end of the day. It's going to be sort of like relegated to the very sort of like edges of around the actual shroud itself, or the actual inlet and the outlet of the actual shroud itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, not too much of a major player, this one. However, it is something that's going to make a little bit more difference. Now, if you've seen the previous video, the actual way of actually getting the desired effect is this. Is you just load up a paintbrush with water, and what it does, it will react with the top cover of paint and the chipping fluid which is underneath. Now, slowly but surely, what you'll see is the paint will start to distort and break up. Now, on some areas it will be a lot easier, and on the other sides it can be a bit tougher. If that is the case, then all I suggest, or what you can do, is apply a little bit more water, or maybe apply a stiffer brush, or you can use a scalpel blade or some form of blade and just tap all over the area to make extremely small holes, spit out. and apply some more water. And what we'll do is the water will go through the little holes into the paint, into the actual chipping fluid, and then it will take it off. Now on this one, this will be the outer shroud, and the only affected areas which I've done are, as you can see, the top, well, the front and the rear bit. So yeah, we'll just crack on with that. Now once that was dry, the next stage is to use a clear coat. For this I used X35, which is a semi-gloss, and basically you're just putting quite a heavy sort of like coat over the actual part itself. So you're basically sort of like sealing it, as in the paints, and there you go, that's X35. And that's what you need to do. Seal it all down and crack on. Then once you've done that, it is more chipping fluid. This time I sprayed it on. So yeah, you just liberally just spray it on all over where you want the affected areas. Or what you could do is you could actually do the whole lot, so you could pick out a little bit more. It's entirely up to you, and this is the great thing about this. It is entirely up to yourself. So the next layer is the white, which I use XF2. Again, it is a case of just spraying it around the areas that you want. For me, it was going to be named sort of like around where the black will be showing through, around the edges of the black. And yeah, that will, well, basically you can apply that at the front and at the rear. Again, that being the inner board shroud. So once that was done, you can actually just crack on, wait for it to dry, and go in with the next paintbrush and layer of water. So as you've seen, I did use a cocktail stick just to make some more sort of like dints and scraping the actual paint away. And what you can do is also use a cotton bud, and it's just basically just running over, cleaning up the actual water residue. But also, if you do apply some pressure to the actual part itself with the cotton bud, you can take the top cover of paint off to give you another sort of effect. It may be more softer than it would be any other. So yeah, we're getting there. So the next stage, once it was dry, was using XF86, which is a flat clear. Again, once that was dry, it was time to basil it with the MIG ammo chipping fluid. On this occasion, I did actually put quite a lot on. I didn't completely flood it, but I wanted enough on it to make sure that when the next bit comes along, it does what I would like it to. So here we are, the next day. Everything's dry. So all I need to do now is to apply the fuselage colour or paint, which is going to be medium sea grey. Now again, it's a simple case of putting the water over the said part and basically chipping away to get the actual desired effect that you're after. Now again, if it's getting a bit stubborn and it's not coming off the way you want or where you want, then you can use, what I'm using there is a scalpel blade or the tip of the scalpel blade, and just tap in the area which I want to be affected or taken off, and again apply some water with a brush, leave it to soak, and then go back into it. So when you think about it, this is basically what we're going to get. We are going to be getting multi-layered paint distortion. Namely, you're going to get the black, we're going to get the brown, we're going to get the white, and then we're going to get the grey. So when you look at it, you're going to have that multi-layered effect. Now, you can do it once or twice, 3, 4, whatever. It is something that really is going to make a difference. Again, it is time consuming, but if you really want that effect, that really sort of like rustic, looked, lived in, worked, destroyed type of look, then this is really something that's really going to make a difference to your model kit. So yeah, here we go. This is what it looks like when it's on the actual kit. So that's it. Multi-layering paint distressing. Yes, like I said, it is a lengthy process. However, the actual results do make a big difference to your kit, and it will give you that sort of like authentic look. Now again, just take your time doing it, okay? Don't rush it, and yeah, just enjoy the process, because you're making something out of multi-layers, and it's probably something that you've never done before. And I think once you've done it once, I think you'll do it again. And that's a great thing, because you can get really good results. But fear not, if you do, and I hope you don't, but if you do mess it up, then don't worry, you can just strip it back, start again, and go, and yeah, we'll just start again. Just practice, and that's all it needs, okay? So hopefully you'll get that result that you want. So there you go. I better get on with this weathering. So I'm off. So you take it easy. Again, thanks for all the likes and the views and all that kind of stuff. It is really much appreciated. And yeah, so I will see you on the next video. So until then, toodle pip.